Hello, folks. This is Victor Cuevas with Victor for Advice. I want to talk to you about tax-free retirement. Why should you even listen to me when it comes to tax-free retirement? Folks, it's more important than ever before to think about your future one day when you start drawing retirement income from wherever you're saving it. How is it going to be taxed? How much of that money are you actually going to be able to keep? Are you going to be able to keep 60% of it? 80% of it? 40% of it? You have to start thinking about that right now because it's so important. Let me explain why. Most of you right now are saving for retirement in a 401k or an IRA. If you're self-employed, you're in a simplified employee pension plan, a solo 401k, or something like that. Your CPA is out there telling you, hey, I'm going to help you save on taxes. Put your money in this retirement plan here, and you save that tax money. You'll be able to take home more. You'll be able to take home more money. Well, look, folks, you got to think about one day when you're going to start drawing that money out. I promise you, if you just think about it, you will pay many, many, many times more in taxes in retirement on your money than you ever saved while you were accumulating it. There's no comparison. You save this much money while you're accumulating it. You pay this much money in taxes in retirement. And that's not when you want to be paying the most tax, because in retirement, you won't have any tax deductions. Your kids are grown. Your house may be paid for. If you're self-employed or a business owner, you've sold your business. You don't have all those tax deductions anymore. Look, while you're working, you can have all kinds of tax deductions. Kids and mortgage interest and all this, that, and the other. And self-employed people. You have plenty of plenty of ways to deduct taxes to mitigate your taxes. In retirement, you're basically out there flapping in the wind, and you're going to pay a lot in taxes. So you need to think about tax-free retirement. But why now more than ever before? And that's what I want you to look at. So let me go over here to this program I have, and you see here our national debt, folks. We're $26.6 trillion in debt. $26 trillion in debt. Now look at our debt since 1940, barely registered for many, many years. And then we get over here to 1972, and the debt starts to go up. That's because we came off the gold standard. Money was no longer backed with gold, so we could print money like crazy. There was nothing to back it. We didn't have to acquire more gold in order to print more money. Money had value. Money has no value today, other than what the government says, or the Fed says, or the Forex trading, currency trading says it's worth. Okay? So we started acquiring debt. Anytime we wanted to juice up the welfare programs and Social Security or whatever, bail ourselves out of stuff, finance a war, whatever, we just printed more money for it. Printed more bonds for people to buy, and we had to pay interest on it. And then we got here to 2008, and we experienced a Great Recession. The greatest recession since the Great Depression. And the longest, slowest, anemic recovery of all time. So in 2008, we were at $10 trillion, almost on a button. And over the next 8 years, this is during the Obama years, we got to 19.5 trillion. Basically, doubled our national debt in only 8 years. Then a new president took over, Trump, and we still went up in debt. We're beefing up the military again, and then all of a sudden COVID hits. This 26 trillion, about 2 trillion of that is COVID, bailing us out of COVID. I don't know what the future is going to hold, folks, but I see this. And I see politicians talking about free healthcare, free college, free this, free that. And meanwhile, Social Security and Medicare are in trouble. And we need to address it. We need to fix that. So again, I don't know, and you don't know, and you need to be thinking about that. What's going to happen in the next 20 years? Are we going to be at 40 trillion? When are we ever going to pay that debt off? What's inflation going to be? What is our taxes going to be? Well, let's look at that. Look at the tax rates. This is our federal income tax started in 1913. And you see it was at a 7% marginal tax rate. That's the top rate. That's the best way to judge the tax rate. We go to the top rate and graph that on out over the years. So in 1913, when they first started, they said no matter how much you pay, you're only going to pay no more than 7%. Don't worry, folks. This federal income tax is going to be okay. The most you'll ever pay is 7%. And most people didn't even pay any taxes in those days. So who cared? Right? Well, hit the rich with a 7%. Well, look what shot up. First World War, and a little bit after that, shot up like a rocket. Then the Roaring 20s hit. We started making money hand over fist. Didn't need as much taxes. We were handling everything because we had a strong economy. Okay, what happens? The Great Recession. So it goes, it still hangs in there, but all of a sudden 1931 hits to 1933, and we're at a 63%. What happens? What happened then? Well, that's when the we had to spin our way out of the recession. We had different social programs coming into being. In 1935, Social Security came in, and all those things, and we had to borrow for it. We had to get into debt for it. Then all of a sudden, Second World War hits. Bam. We hit in 1944 and 1945 a 94% marginal tax rate. Now, that doesn't mean people making, blue-collar people and middle-class people paid 94%. The wealthiest paid that once they hit a certain income level, but I don't know what middle-class people were paying, 20%, 30%, 40% of what they made in the taxes. Who knows? But it was a lot more than when it first started out. It's a lot more than this period here. And then it dipped a little bit and went right back up. During the Eisenhower years, we had the Korea going. After that, we were building the national highway system and going great guns after the Second World War, building this economy and building up the United States. And still high tax rates for the wealthiest. Again, I don't know what the people, middle-class people were paying, more than they were paying back here, right? So then it dips down again, and we're here during the Vietnam War. We go back up again towards the end of the Vietnam War, and back where you can see how it's going, all the way down to the Reagan years, where we had the lowest since the Roaring 20s. We're at 28%. Now we're at 30% tax bracket. So historically speaking, folks, we're fairly low in taxes. We can only go up from here. Not going to get much lower than that. All right, folks? So we see what the national debt is, how much it has risen drastically over the last 20 years, and we see where we're at historically, which we're at pretty low rates. So now the big question is, given our national debt is continuing to rise for the foreseeable future, given that there's a massive political battle in Congress on basically capitalism and socialism is very expensive, I have no idea where taxes are going to be, folks. Do you? So you have to think about this more than ever. When I retire, is Social Security even going to be around, which makes my saving now even more important? Secondly, what am I going to be paying on my taxes in those days? Because every bit of my retirement income, 100%, can be taxable. So this is why you should consider a strategy on how you can save for retirement. Not get a tax break up front. Save and not pay any taxes on it while you're saving it. Have access to it the whole time in case you need it without any penalty, unlike your 401k or IRA. And then when you retire someday, it pays out to you tax-free. And by the way, at a much higher withdrawal rate than you can withdraw from your 401k and IRA. This is what I want you to think about. So there's a link under this video. You can go to it. You can see a very short, like a couple-minute video. And then if you want to, you can see an on-demand webinar. It lasts about 11 minutes, and it goes into some nice detail on what I'm talking about. And then you can contact me and see if saving for retirement tax-free is something that you might want to start doing now. All right, Victor Cuevas, Victor for Advice. God bless.